All right, now let's discuss this matter. We're now joined via Zoom by Javu Baloyi, spokesperson for the Commission for Gender Equality. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, GBV remains a deep-rooted problem in South Africa. Women and young girls, they feel under siege. And as we've heard in that clip, President Cyril Ramaphosa admitting that this is a crisis. So as you head to the summit tomorrow, how confident are you that it will come up with implementable plans that will ultimately address the scourge in a coordinated manner?
Thank you, Unati, and thank you to the viewers of SABC. We are cautiously optimistic. As a commission, we sit in various groups, committees within the steering committee that is organizing the summit. We even asking ourselves hard-hitting questions, which we needed to answers on. Hence, we came with this slogan, accountability, acceleration, and amplification now. One of the greatest mistakes and the greatest setback in our country, Unatsi, is that the implementation thereof is not there. People are not being held accountable, even the leaders. We say things willy-nilly without even looking at the consequences of what we're saying out there. Look at the National Gender-Based Council, that on Femicide, which was supposed to be there within 6 months. It has taken almost 4 years for the bill to go before Parliament. So those are some of the things that someone must be held accountable to say. There was a promise, who was supposed to action it, who was supposed to implement it, who was supposed to do what. Just like the reports from the Commission for Gender Equality, there are so many looking at the issue of addressing gender-based violence. We had one on IRAP, government's response on action plan on gender-based violence. We have got one on SAPS, in assessing the effectiveness. Those things are quick wins in Unati. You don't need money, you just need people willing to do something.
I'm glad you mentioned money because we know, as our reporters were busy interviewing different organizations that are in this fight, a lot of them raising issues, that government does need, though, to address resource allocations and funding. That keeps coming up as an issue. How would that then, shape the fight against GBV?
I am telling you, should government prioritize institutions like the Commission for Gender Equality, Department of Women and Youth and Persons with Disability, and civil society working, those are not the mushrooming ones, those that, they've got track record on the field. I am telling you, Unati, we are going to do, not events, but activities. We are going to be all over. We are going to buy slots on SABC, radio and television, to communicate to people in the language which they understand better. For people to get the message trickling down, that can come very, when you look, just suppose with state-owned enterprises and the work that we are doing on the ground on gender-based violence, that ours is to win society, change the mindset, to create an enabling environment for everyone, that women, men and children, youth, people with disability and LGBTI and A+Q people can live in harmony. We are doing so a lot, but with little, and we're expected to do the most of what with the little that we have. It's acknowledged every time there's a summit, every time there's an event or an activity, but yet we're not getting the money that it's supposed to be given unto this institution.
All right. And now, of course, as we talk about, gender-based violence, we know that this is actually an attack based on one's gender. So when we start talking about some of those challenges that you've been speaking, about, how do you then start the discussion or even the programs that are needed in dismantling toxic gender relations?
We need the buy-in of all stakeholders. We need the buy-in of traditional leaders. We need to go even to those who are taken to the circumcision schools. For us to change the mind, we need men as allies. We need men as ambassadors against the scourge of gender-based violence. We need men who will talk against fellow men, who, if they post something or put something on a WhatsApp, will talk to that person. We need churches to open up the avenues of saying, maybe some of the people that are out there in society are doing this, are hiding in the church. That will make us see us winning the game. We need the regulation of liquor stores, like what the minister was saying there. Those are the ones that are breeding criminal elements. You know, intoxicated men who stay in the bottle stalls and lodge and share beans until early hours of the morning. We're not referring to all of them. But, you know, when they go home, they start violence, domestic violence. Those are the people that we need teachers who play the parent role. We need parents not to outsource the responsibilities to talk to their kids, to tell them about certain aspect of life. That will see us winning this thing. We also need institutions like ourselves to hold people accountable. We need to make sure that even our law enforcement agency, the judiciary, is self-correcting. That people, that are arrested, you might have seen one article in one newspaper, it said, most of the parolees are repeat offenders of gender-based violence. Do we still continue, the Justice Department, do we still continue giving people who commit atrocities against women and children bail? We need to look at that. We need to look at the issue of parole. You are arrested, but yet the case will run concurrently. Is that justified to the people who have been killed? Those are the things that, you know, I have said, they don't need money. They just need wisdom to say, yes, people have got rights, but the rights have got limitation. They cannot be that people are given bail, are paroled, and then they continue. Just imagine the child who was killed in Kosovo. It wouldn't have happened had our system been effective and intact to say parolees cannot be given 12 years, 25 years, and in 12 years, 8 years, they're out. Let them serve the whole term because they have killed someone. Let them die, or if they have to die, let them die in jail. Because we don't have a system where people will say that, you know, death sentence. It's a democratic South Africa, and it's a democratic state. We respect that. But people should be taught a lesson, not for them to go and watch Smash TV, phone us when they're in prison to say that they're studying. Let them, certain privileges be taken away from them. You will see that people will also fear committing crime. They will be proponent of against crime.
All right, Jabu, thank you so much. That's all the time we have for this afternoon. Javu Baloyi, spokesperson there for the Commission for Gender Equality.